Alrighty, we're back out here doing some more work on the motor, trying to get the old Camaro up and running. Just a little background on what I got going on. This is a 6-liter LS. Been driving it for like the last year, actually all summer last year. So it's a good running vehicle. Well, I decided during the winter to go ahead and do a tear down on it. I want to install a turbo, so just a single turbo. That shouldn't be too much. All I have to do is get a turbo, fabricate some exhaust pipes, the hot side, fabricate some cold side piping, install a little radiator there, and you know, we're good to go. Sounds good. A lot more to it. Ended up having to pull the motor so that I could tear into each piston. I needed to verify the ring gap on the pistons. So after I checked all 8 pistons and found out that I didn't need to do any ring gapping, I got to put the motor all back together again, put it back in the car, and that's where we're at right now. Like I said, with a turbo, I had to redo my hot side or my exhaust piping, and what I'm doing is I took the stock headers, just flipped them and sent them forward. So I think they call it up and forward. I don't know. All you do is you more or less take the driver's side and stick it on the passenger side and vice versa. Anyways, today, what am I doing today? Today, I need to work on relocating my coils. Originally, the coils go right here, and the plug wire goes between the exhaust runner into the plug right there. Well, with this being a up and forward style, I got the whole log, the main header is going to be right here in front, and I ain't going to have enough plug wire to go all the way around to the plug. So, and it's too tight to go in between down there. So I need to relocate the coils. Right now, I'm thinking about mounting them a plate or fabricating a plate to go off of my motor mounts. Just kind of get the coils down below and loop back up. The only other hurdle I see is quite possibly my exhaust for the turbo is going to be shooting straight back down here. So I need to make sure that with a plug in here, I'll still be able to get a plug wire on it. Saying that out loud, I don't know if I ever verified that exhaust with a plug in that last cylinder. Well, alright, so I had to put this whole hot side together with the exception of this one, just to make sure I had everything in the right spot and everything. It's like one heck of a jigsaw puzzle. It's hard for me to guarantee that this turbo is in the right spot without having this pipe in the right spot. It's hard to tell if this pipe isn't going to be affected by that pipe. So connection 1 to the turbo exhaust out to there, and I have to have this on there because the two of these kind of self-align each other. So that all being said, all that to take a look at this hot side exhaust, and I'm looking at probably, we'll say 3 inches between this and the tip of my plug. So I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to play this by ear. Let me get on the internet real quick and just see what kind of plug boots we got. I'm sure they have little 90s available that I might be able to make work. Let me see what the other side looks like. Well, can't see shit over here. Yeah. Whatever. Alright. So anyways, this is what the hot side's gonna look like. Alright, looks like I can get a 90-degree boot to go onto that plug. I really don't feel like making my own plug, and I've seen they sell sets with the 90 degrees on the plug end. but I can't seem to find where they only do one. So, I don't know. I'll have to maybe call up MSD or call up, I don't know, call somebody up and see if they sell just individuals. Anyways, so I started thinking more about this little remote coil pack I got. Here's the original one right here. I just laid it down in there and it actually fits pretty good. Obviously I got to figure out a way to mount it, but if I can figure that out, it should be easy enough to just, I don't even need to, shouldn't have to fabricate or reinvent the wheel. I'll just find a way to mount it down there and all my plug wires be underneath this header. I think it would be fine. One thing I was thinking, my original plan was just get some plate steel and fabricate my own little coil holders. So this is what we got right here. Like I said, I was originally thinking about making my own plate and cutting out for each one of these coils and doing the screws and all that stuff, and only making it a smaller footprint, you know, making it about this big versus way out here. I got to thinking, I was like, well, this thing's going to be out of sight, out of mind. What if I just lopped it off right there, welded these two together? Same with right here. I don't need this plug taking up this much real estate. I can also cut off this end right here where this mounting hole is, as well as that end. This one right here is they're pretty tight, pretty close. But I'm willing to bet I could shave a good 3 inches, 4 inches off just by cutting a section out here and cutting a section out there. And that's not counting cutting ears off. So I think for the driver's side, I think this is what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to go ahead and try to just splice section out part of this and weld them back together and be done with it. First things first, let me go ahead and see if I can figure out a way to mount the stock bracket on the passenger side. Alright, so this is it. Nothing more than just a bracket down here, same bracket, another bracket straight to this bolt right here. I was worried about some bounce to this, but I don't think that thing's going anywhere. The only other thing I was worried about is, I don't know, you can barely see it, but right there's the plug for the coil. I was worried about getting too close to this bolt there. I could always pull that bolt out. It's just, I just have it there for grounding. But either way, that plus I'm getting awfully close to my heater hose connection here. Actually, it got a little bit closer. Looking at it now, it's closer than I really would like, but it'll work. So this is more or less it. I had to bend it a little bit just to angle it down. You can see a little bit of a bend here. I did the same thing over here on this side. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pull this back apart, clean it up. I'll probably cut a little bit better corners right here and get it off this wheel well. But something else right here, these little bolts on the back side is just a nut. So this little 1/4x20, I'm gonna weld the back side, them nuts up. And then I'll get some real bolt heads there instead of using a little Phillips head, button head, whatever. But it'll work. Yeah, I think it'll work. I'll go ahead and I'll pull this connector off and I'll probably end up bringing my electrical connections up through here. Somewhere's up like this. Well, I don't know. I may be able to fit back there behind the cylinder head and take the same routing over the top of that starter. All right, let's take a look at this other side. See what I gotta do over there. First thing I gotta do is pull all that crap out of my way. Yeah, this is the dark side. All right, so this is what we got for this other coil bracket bolt, and another one down there. I need to touch that up to some paint just to make it look a little bit better. All right, so there we got the brackets in place there. It ain't going nowhere. There's not much vibration in it. What you hear clicking is that little connector, but it's in there good. Yeah, so I'm happy with this. I think this will work. Now, the driver's side. Now this side I've been staring at probably longer than I've been doing any work on it. I pulled the headers off and on a couple times. There's just nowhere to really put anything in here. It is extremely tight with the brake lines, the steering shaft, fuel lines. This side's it's just so daggum tight. This side right here, what I'm going to do is, there's a bolt right there to my motor mount bolt, and then same with the other one. I already got a bracket on it. Let's see if that light's a little bit better, but I've already got one plate off of that other motor mount. This one right here, I fabricated plate. The plate ain't got a hole in it, it's just got a slot. So what I'm going to end up having to do is slide it in there. Hopefully this is going to work out for me. We'll see. Here's the plate I'm talking about. I already did it, and there's the slot. That way I can just slide it in there. It's getting to the point now where it's like you're going to have to do this in a specific order. One is coil brackets, two is putting your plugs in and the boots, and then the header. It's going to be interesting. Hopefully I don't have to do this a whole lot of times, because I'll get tired of it. I mean, if I was smart about it, I probably would have built a bracket on that firewall right there and just fabricated, or actually bought some new coil wires that you can do custom lengths with. But I've already got these, and I'm cheap, so I'm gonna do what I got to make what I got work. I'm not quite sure if it's right or wrong yet, but that's what I'm doing. All right, so I still need to poke a hole in that little plate right there. The idea is it's probably going to go right onto this spot right here. I was going to take it all the way up here, but I think I'm just poking a hole right there, and I'll probably end up just cutting this flush just to save more headache. One more thing for something to hit. Like I said, it's getting tight down there. One thing I want to spell out before y'all stop this video is the way that I set this one up on the driver's side is going to requiring changing these plugs. Meaning, instead of it being, normally it was sitting up top like this, and this would be firing cylinder 1, 2, or 1, 3, 5, and 7. Well, now I have it mounted up underneath like this, so I need this to be cylinder 1. So all I had to do was more or less rotate this whole harness so that what was cylinder 1, coil 1, is now over here. So I just more or less unplugged them, swapped them, plugged them back in. So this is now, and this blue tape is actually my reminder. This is cylinder 1. So whether it's over here, or whether it's here, or wherever you put these plugs, the PCM computer thinks that this is coil 1 for cylinder 1. Something I was very paranoid and scared that I was going to get something crossed up doing this job right here. It took me a long time to try to figure out how it thought it was firing the right cylinder at the right time. And all it knows is this jack, this plug, goes to cylinder 1. It doesn't care which coil you got it on or how you got the plug wires going. It knows this is bank 1, which is the driver's side, and it knows that this plug is for cylinder 1. Now you could stick this over there on that side, and in fact they're interchangeable. I may have already swapped them once. The plug that goes for over there, it knows it's bank 2. It knows whatever plug is right here is bank 1, cylinder 1, 3, 5, 7. Over there it's the same way. Now I didn't change the orientation over there. I didn't change the orientation of this thing right here. It's still oriented the same, so I didn't have to mess with any of the electrical. I could pull this out right here and just lay it right back there. It'd be the same thing. There's cylinder 2, 4, 6, 8. It's going to be firing the same way. It's still going, this is still set up for cylinder 2. This is set up for 4, 6, 8. So I didn't change the orientation of these coils. Over there I did. Instead of it coming out and going down like this, I ended up having to flip them over on that side. So, don't want to sound like I'm beating a dead horse, but think about the orientation of these things before you go ahead and do what you got to do. In fact, I even put a little piece of dummy tape right there with I had big flag tape on here saying cylinder 1. I'm getting overboard here. Anyways, pay attention to what you're doing. Think about it. Alright, that's all I got. Later. Alright, well, I'm done. At least done with the hard part. It's a lot easier. All I did was 2 straight brackets shooting straight off the motor mounts. But just the constant in and out of this tight little area, measuring, cutting, drilling and putting back in and test fitting again was a pain in the butt. I don't know if I mentioned the reason I slotted this one to slide in there. I was having a very difficult time unthreading that bolt. It's not crossed it, it's got a lot of weight on it. I even tried putting a chain fall and picking the motor up just a little bit, see if maybe that helped. Anyways, I was afraid to completely remove that motor mount bolt. Anyways, I was afraid that if I completely removed it, something would shift and I'd never get that thing back in without having to probably pull this whole freaking motor out just to get that one bolt in there. So I took the easy way out and just slotted this bracket. This is one hold, nut on the back is welded. This is one hold, nut on the back is welded. This is one hold for the other motor mount. And that other motor mount's hole is bolted tight. Yeah, I will cut this right here. I'll trim this. I just figured better longer than shorter when I was doing my initial. All right, another thing you might notice is it kind of slopes downhill a little bit. I kind of did that on purpose. The only reason I did it is because the very last two, coils, when the plug wires come out, they're wanting to hit on the brake line here, as well as on this steering arm, or the steering shaft. So if I lowered that end, it kind of took some slop out, straightened up the plug wires, and kind of pulled them away from all this mess. This right here, I don't have any problems with this one. Same with this one right here. It actually comes over the top of this steering arm, so we're good here. plug one. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and tear it all apart again, do the final little trimming here and there, and paint it up, and we'll carry on with the next thing. I guess the next part's going to be installing these headers and drilling out from my O2 sensors. I get the O2 sensors drilled out, figure out where I want them, drill them out, and then I can do that exhaust wrap on the headers. Actually, all of it, everything. I plan on wrapping everything. I was kind of debating on whether I wanted to run without exhaust wrap, only because I don't have a lot of faith in my welds, and screw it. If it leaks, it leaks. I'll pull the wrap off and fix the leaks. All right, so that's that. Let me pull this apart, cut it up, trim it up, paint it, and we'll put it back in, hopefully one last time.